Jesus used this phrase 7 times, not once in a moment of passion, not twice for emphasis, 7 times, deliberately, across multiple audiences, multiple parables, multiple warnings, weeping and gnashing of teeth. That is not poetry. That is a forecast. I am Ezekiel, and I need you to understand who Jesus was talking to, because it was not who you think. Most people hear that phrase and picture obvious sinners, the wicked, the godless, the ones who never claimed the faith. Read it again. Every single time that phrase appears in Matthew, every single one, Jesus aimed it at people who were absolutely certain of their standing. The insiders, the chosen, the ones who wrap political power in the language of divine blessing. The ones who said, "Lord, Lord," while the poor stood outside. Matthew 7:22. Many will say to me on that day, "Lord, did we not prophesy in your name?" And he says, "I never knew you. Not I knew you and rejected you. I never knew you." The confidence was the problem. The certainty was the blindness. There is a king in Scripture, Rehoboam, who inherited a great nation and was warned, "Lighten the burden on your people or you will lose them." His advisors said, "Serve them." His inner circle said, "Dominate them. Show strength. They'll respect it." He chose dominance. The kingdom split in his hands. The people who cheered him loudest suffered first. There is a Pharaoh who hardened his heart, not once, 7 times. Each hardening brought greater ruin, not to his enemies, to his own nation, to the people who called him chosen. And there are, in Matthew 25, servants who saw the suffering around them and did nothing, not from cruelty, from fear, from comfort, from not wanting to lose what they had accumulated. Jesus reserved some of his sharpest words for them, not the oppressors, the silent, the compliant, the ones who buried what they were given and called it safety. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. That second part matters. Gnashing is not grief. Gnashing is fury. The rage of a person who realizes too late that they were deceived, or worse, that they deceived themselves. The suffering you are watching is not punishment from God. It is consequence. Scripture understood the difference. Punishment comes from above. Consequence comes from the choices made right here, on the ground, by people who had every warning and chose the voice that told them what they wanted to hear. Matthew 7:15. Beware of false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing. They don't arrive looking dangerous. They arrive looking like shepherds. That is the only way the warning makes any sense at all. Jesus never aimed weeping and gnashing of teeth at obvious sinners. It's not aimed at atheists. No, it's aimed at the loudly devout. The followers who cheered the loudest are now among those suffering the most. Tariffs hitting rural communities, with healthcare cuts to the same counties that voted most enthusiastically. Economic chaos landing hardest on working people who were promised the opposite. This is Matthew's weeping and gnashing of teeth in real time. Not hell, not the afterlife. Right now, this season, this year. And the devastating biblical parallel, Matthew 8:12, Jesus says it is the sons of the kingdom, the insiders, the chosen ones, the ones who believed their position was guaranteed, who find themselves in the outer darkness. I have watched kingdoms fall before. I have watched people of genuine faith hand that faith to men who wore it like a costume. I have watched the ones who cheered the loudest become the ones weeping the hardest. It never gets easier to witness. The scroll does not celebrate its own fulfillment. If you are suffering right now, whether you cheered or warned or simply watched in silence, the text has always made room for the person who looks up, sees clearly, and turns. That word in Hebrew is teshuvah, return. Not arrival, return. You were never as far from the path as the powerful needed you to believe. Welcome to Unfiltered Scripture, where we tell you what the Bible actually says about economics, justice, and liberation, not what American Christianity wants you to believe.